What is something you thought was sexually normal until someone pointed it out to you? Turns out you should definitely communicate which terms and vocabulary are turn-ons before you start your dirty talk. Oh baby, you duck like Shrek. I didn't think twice about kissing with my eyes open. Then mid-Makia the guy opened his eyes for a quick second and then a look of shock passed over him. He was polite enough not to say anything. I had to read a bunch of Cosmo magazines that night to figure out why he looked so surprised. Orgasming in your sleep. Watched an explained episode about the female orgasm with some friends. Was shocked to find out it isn't common and shocked my friends when they found out I sleep orgasm pretty frequently. Don't pat a vagina violently. Tried when I was younger and my GF literally said you've been watching way too much PRN, stop that. She was right, I did. Apparently I'm what's called a grower. I thought everyone's DCK was really small flaccid and would grow to be a few times bigger erect. Compact storage. There when you need it. Dot. That's how it works, right? Obligatory, not me. But my friend. Had a buddy in high school with a huge foot fetish. He wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed. Nor was SX ed where we grew up that good. He'd never heard of the concept of a foot fetish. And didn't believe anything about him was abnormal. He thought feet were just a regular SX characteristic, like breasts or ass. And that we were the abnormal ones. I'll never forget his shock when we called him out on it. What do you mean you guys don't like feet? You're not gay, are you? Edit. This is now my most upvoted comment. Awesome. Ear licking, I personally love it and I thought most guys felt the same having it done to them until one guy asked me, "What the duck are you doing?" Don't do that. Said that shit was gross. I was deflated. Lol. Not sure if this counts. My wife and I have been married for 13 years. Together for like 15 years and been lifelong friends from childhood. Ironically, the only time I ever hear her say my name is when I get her off around the house. It's honey, sweetie, or any other pet name. Never once my name. My wife will only say my given name while moaning. Edit. I did not realize how much this would blow up. Honestly, I thought this would be a throwaway comment because I myself realized it after we had SX and it really didn't follow up's format. For a bit more background. The night I pointed it out to her, she didn't realize she was doing it and for a long while neither did I. I loved her rationale on why she does it though. Bear with me, it's more of a paraphrase it. I don't know why I do it. I just feel so close to you on that moment. I can't explain it. I just can't help myself. Having a girlfriend for like 6 years and never having intercourse. Despite not having a verbal and explicit agreement. It was sometimes frustrating. Calling each other different names. Oh yeah. Take it, Gary. I, 22F, am but face down. And only with my clit. Apparently I have to finger myself. I never ever finger myself. Have always done it the same way as you. High five. I thought everyone had fetishes until a game of Never Have I Ever when I was in high school. Where one kid said never have I ever had a fetish and I was the only one who put a finger down. Thank God none of my friends saw me put a finger down because they were too busy laughing at the word fetish. Everyone has a fetish. Not making sounds. I didn't watch PRN with sound to not awake my parents at night, so I never knew what sound you're supposed to make. Bro, just turn subtitles on. Assuming that women automatically know what you want just because your first crush did. It turns out that you have to tell them exactly what you like dislike if you want them to know. Your first crush had sex with you? When I was jerking off I would always be laying on my back and just come on my own abdomen. When I started having sex, I would pull out and instead of coming onto the girl I would lean back and come on myself because that's how I had been doing it for years. I had it pointed out to me and then realized holy shit. Come onto you. That's genius. What the duck kind of ooga booga shit is this? Doing everything open-minded. My first girlfriend and I were best friends forever, and we were our first relationship of each other. That LVL of trust made us have sex and accepting everything from each other. So we would do oral. Come on, mouth. Anal. Everything. Even oral sex while driving and all that. Washing my DCK before sex. Turns out I am a freak for wanting my DCK to be clean before using it. You're a good partner. Not getting off. I figured something was wrong with me. Finally got off with a girl who actually put effort to get me off. Realized I was having horrible sex with lazy girls. My ex-girlfriend was like an animal in the bed. The animal was starfish. Having sex in the shower. I thought it was the second most popular place to do it. The first place will shock you. I thought my foreskin was normal until I watched PRN. Turns out normal foreskins are supposed to be able to pull back. Mine somehow fused together in a way that does not let me pull it back. I'm considering getting circumcised for hygiene. Update. I am going to book a meeting with me doctor. Good to know. 4K of you got the advice for us. Other than that, one who tried to push this into a religion is bad of the ISM rule as rant. And ignore that this is a medical and hygiene related issue now. I am done the growth stage. Waiting and see is no real option at this point. I am not growing up anymore. I will be seeing the doctor. You know what's weird? In my early 30s now, I realize that somehow sex goes through trends. Like, choking would have been a really kinky weird thing when I was younger. Now practically every woman I'm with asks for that. When I was in my 20s, most women I slept with said that most guys didn't give head as foreplay. Which seems nuts to me, since it makes everything else so much better. Lazy dudes, I guess. My wife always thought biting her lip was and seductive. I just never had the heart to tell her it's supposed to be the bottom one. Can you imagine being a repressed young teen cruising Reddit a few years back and you stumble upon you doubled dude and think that's normal? Edit. I know he was fake, you guys. I thought everyone used safe words. Most of us simply use the safe word stop or no. Staying hard after coming. Having a secret, intimate relationship with a man 12 years older than me when I was 15-16. Oh yes. I used to flippantly say I date older men when I was 15-16. Leaves me cringing to this day. Deadass out and about dating fellas in their mid to late 20s. I'm 25 right now and the people I've dated in the past year or so still aren't as old as my first couple boyfriends. Like, holy shit. Her ex had warned her that blue balls were basically hell on earth and if a man gets a boner without coming then it's like giving birth. My first BF. I was 18, he was 28. Same CNT, got me hooked on meth as well. Taught me that it's perfectly normal that someone has sex with me while I'm sleeping. After breaking up with him and before discovering it ain't what everyone is doing. This belief led into a few traumatizing and quite dehumanizing events. I thought penises had 2 holes till a month after my wedding at the age of 28. I also didn't masturbate till after I had sex because I had never thought to. Didn't know what exactly a clit was till my sister explained masturbation while laughing hysterically through a door. 18. I talked much tea and no one realized that I just never knew. Not having a nut recede into your abdomen after ejaculating. A friend of mine asked us if any of us had to deal with a nut being pulled into the abdomen and we let out a collective what the duck. No. Luckily my father is a doctor so I asked him about it and from what he told me it's not that uncommon or dangerous. Edit. Crying. I had a shitty boyfriend Mayo. Not wanting to have sex with a man. The thought of it made me nauseous and not in a nervous way. I felt trapped. I'm a lesbian. Edit. I'm so glad my comment is sparking such an important conversation about differences in the complexity of sexuality. Everyone is different. You are all normal. You are all valid. Consenting human adults that are of age is the only thing that matters. That people would just say what they want and like. Turns out you really have to pull it out of some even if you are already in a relationship. Not me, but my cousin thought men had only one testicle in their nut sacks. Wizard hats? Pain. The guy I lost my virginity to was 11. 5 inches long. It wasn't until I left him for a dude with a shorter length did I realize that anyone who stands by bigger is better is ducking wrong. I've been with both ends of the spectrum of penis length. And can confirm the size of the boat is, truly, not as important as the motion of the ocean. Yes, there is still hope for the 2-inch Punisher over here who you can just hamster but 12 times a day because you feel like it. Hey now. So you can't just be spitting on people apparently. Who knew? A homeless guy spat on me. Yeah, people don't like surprise spit. Edit. You actually do need to wash your vulva. It's the vagina they keep telling us not to put soap in. I'm gay. And when I first started having sex I thought fingering was pretty normal. I like being fingered. I figured most other gay guys did too. Apparently not. Seems like most of them don't like it and don't like to do it. I feel like I've eaten ass and had my ass eaten more times than I've been fingered or fingered someone. And I can literally count the number of times I've had my ass eaten. 6. 6 times. Apparently not everybody says oopsie doo. Here comes the goo. Well, I know that it isn't sexually normal. But I dig the use of some teeth when receiving oral. I sometimes wonder how many of my girlfriends when I was younger thought this may be sexually normal and treated their next partner to a really bad time. Great strats though. GF leaves for some other dude? Well, enjoy your DCK bitten. Staying hard after finishing and being able to go again after a short break. I didn't realize that for a lot of guys they get soft after coming and are pretty much spent for a few hours the rest of the day. Asking to come on someone somewhere near completion. I always just opted for the in-condom nut, but one girl said to me, "Why didn't you come on my face?" I said that seems awful rude without permission or a previous discussion. She explained to me people are out there just nutting where they see fit, haha. I've never really jerked at all my entire life. I always had the misconception that you have to move your hand in a rotation-esque motion around the DCK rather than the normal up and down motion. I thought it was perfectly normal to be a woman who enjoys an LSX. To explosively ejaculate immediately upon entering, or what I think is entering a vagina but could have just simply touched the vagina. Having panic attacks. Luckily I now have a boyfriend who cares enough to help me through it. Enjoying a finger up the bum. Depends on the person attached to the finger, TBH. As a gay dude. That doesn't make you gay. Wanting to duck. Or get ducked. By a dude. Makes you gay. One of my high school exes shoved an unlubed finger right up my ass while we were going at it. Apparently she read in some magazine guys like that. I did not. Literally threw that girl off my bed by reflex. Not only was she upset at me, but the sound of her hitting the floor alerted my mother, who didn't know I had a girl over and ran into my room to see my crying naked ex on the floor and me wiping blood off my arsehole with a sock. Words cannot explain how awkward dinner was that night. Male. Female. If you're going to put anything up someone's ass, tell them first and use goddamn lube. Not having sex until marriage. Okay. So I'm ace. And I genuinely thought that people just hated sex but had it to get pregnant. But alas. I have since been informed otherwise. Not quite sure you all aren't making it all up though. My ex kept treating me like a child. I was 18-19 and looked young and he would wipe makeup off. Yell at me for wearing anything grown up. Accuse me of attracting other men. And eventually call me son. Work. Excuse me, what the duck? 11. 5. Is that a typo? Did you measure it yourself or see it measured in person? I've seen quite a few huge DCKS in person but nothing even close to 11. 5. I mean it's not impossible but 9-10 inches is much more believable. I'm pretty sure you missed reply button on comment. I thought everyone had kinks. Even if a woman said she was vanilla. I figured she just hadn't figured hers out yet. Nope. Some people are vanilla. They aren't going to suddenly realize they want to be fisted. I spent months just ruining a relationship trying to help a poor girl figure out what she was into. Instantly going again after 15 seconds rest up to 5 times, was told that usually it takes 30 or so minutes to recharge the batteries, never had to wait for that long. Girl I slept with a few times genuinely thought it was rude not to let the guy finish in her mouth and swallow. My ex-boyfriend from high school really liked teeth. Like, a lot. He was the first guy I ever. Yeah. So after we broke up, and I got to that point with another dude, we had to take a few minutes and discuss the implications of using teeth on a penis and how 9 times out of 10 men didn't want that. Thank God he was really nice about it. I was circumcised when I was young due to my foreskin being too tight. Didn't know I was any different till I whipped out my old boy to a girl I was dating at the time and she looked ecstatic that I didn't poss his one. We got down to it and afterwards I asked her why she was happy I didn't. She explained that her ex rarely ever used to pull his back and clean it, and seeing her first DCK without one made her happy. We've been together since 2016 now and have a beautiful 11-month-old daughter. My first girl loved licking my arsehole when giving a blowjob. I am still unsure if some girls like a guy to come on their face. We don't all like it. Well, everyone is different, but I like it. I also like to be degraded during sex, so it kinda goes along with that. I could never self-pleasure with my own hands. As a woman, for me it's like the concept of not being able to tickle yourself. Like nothing happens to me if I use my own hand down there. Just feel nothing. The only way was always using something else to rub against. Like a pillow or something. And face down against it. Not lying on my back, etc. Found out pretty early in high school from magazines like Cosmo that this isn't usually normal. That girls need a pulse. Well, that went from 100-100 pretty quickly. Being a straight guy but having fantasies about other guys. I thought all straight people had same-sex fantasies. Turns out that I'm just bi. Not saying being bi isn't normal. Just that I thought that it was a typical thing for straight people to experience that. So this is a Wendy's. Everything is sexually normal as long as it's done between consenting adults. That's it. Duck kink shaming and the idea that some sex is good and some is bad. Wanna attach jumper cables to your balls while cosplaying as AC Slater? Go for it. Completely agree, but also are suspiciously specific. I have hair all the way up to the tip of my penis. Which I thought was normal until the first time I showed it to a girl and she screamed, "Holy shit. You have hair all the way up to the tip of your penis." I have seen a lot of penises and that is ducking weird. She still let me smash though. God bless her. Wanted to see what it felt like. Said it felt like she was getting ducked by one of those wiry dish scrubbers though. When I was 13, my friends asked me why I had hot girls tied up on my Google history. I thought lifelong monogamy was relatively normal. Now I'm seeing people regularly have sex with new people each time. Every partner I've had has cheated on me. Maybe it's because I was raised in a religious home. But now it's like I have this subtle right-wing hardwiring. I don't know if I should be mad and sad about people having sex. But I am. On top of it all, I'm as SLTTY as the next person. And my promiscuity doesn't seem to intensify or soothe my discomfort. It all just feels alien and unreal. Having these gigantic balls. Not me. In high school, a friend casually mentioned that he bled after sex and would blame it on his girlfriend. Wait. What? We spoke and I found out that he wasn't circumcised. Naturally. I asked if he pulled back the foreskin and washed. Well, that was the problem. No more penile bleeding during sex. I'm a straight female that's happily married. Firstly, I didn't know that the majority of women don't have wet dreams that reach climax. Man, that blew my mind because they're awesome. 2. I had no idea how weird mine were until I told my husband about one I had. He asked if the dream involved him. I said no. It's only women. He was like, what? What do you mean? I only have sex dreams. About women. I've never had one involving a man. Ever. He got kind of excited and I had to explain that I have zero desire to do it with a lady. But in my dreams, I'm a muff diving lesbo for some reason. Acquiescing to certain sex acts out of fear that they may get angry. I thought it was normal for a dude to enjoy giving oral and get squirted on. Had a girl be really embarrassed and almost grossed at me for a minute. What woman doesn't enjoy getting an orgasm from oral? She probably was embarrassed. She's just made a huge mess on your face though. It can be quite embarrassing the first time, especially if they weren't expecting it. How often 14-year-olds come onto this sub asking sex related questions? I was having a great time until someone said the person needs to be alive. I used to think vaginal sex was a gender. Your name? Mike Oxlong. Gender? Anal. What? Anal. Anal. I did it once for a woman who was really keen on it. And told me to treat it like normal sex. Foreplay is a mutual thing for both parties. So when a partner started returning the favors back, I assumed I ducked up and asked, wait, did I do something bad? And he was just. I thought it was okay to sleep with your patients. Semicolon. Then I got fired from the pet clinic. Full Nelson. Me having sex. I an LLY fisting women was normal. Until I started messing with vanilla chicks. So I'm either vanilla or into fisting. Good to know.